Hello, everybody. This is Detmar Saalmann. I am the Business Development Manager for Global Railway Market at Weidmüller. Weidmüller is cooperation partner of Smart Motors in the realization of digitalization projects in the railway applications. And we will conduct together this webinar today. Topic will be digitalization at Metro Barcelona, experience report of more than 10 years implementation. To talk about digitalization is quite new topic. It is a topic for the market which gives inspiration and motivation to improve service, to improve quality, and to improve performance. But what is the challenge in this? The challenge is that there are really few experience in the market as it is a new technology. And for this, I'm really happy to have today a guest with me who has this experience. He started already more than 10 years ago with the implementation, and he has already valuable information, and he's going to share it with us today in this webinar. It's Ignasi Oliver from Transport Metropolitan de Barcelona. He is the director for transit service, for maintenance, and also for project area. He's working at TMB, which is the abbreviation for Metro Barcelona, since 1988. And he is responsible for the maintenance projects in signaling, communication, electrical and mechanical installation, track and catenary, so more or less whole technology. And also he is responsible for innovation project, introducing new technologies, like he did in the past with a RAMS methodology. He was the first to introduce RAMS methodology in signaling in Spain. And later he was also the first who implemented RAMS in maintenance projects in whole Europe. Now his focus is changed and he's more looking into condition-based maintenance. And this he's doing together with the intermodal team in TMB. Engineers, technical and operation teams have to do the digital transformation at TMB together. Ignasi, we are really curious to hear your story about digitalization at TMB. Welcome, and the stage is yours.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Detmar, for your introduction. My objective today is to share our experience with SAVANA, that, as you told, we have been working with this project for more than 10 years. Let me start showing you some information about Metro de Barcelona. Here is the main characteristic of our metro, and as you can see, our metro is nearly 100 years old. However, we have a young spirit. Yes, digitalization can be an example, but a very good example is that 30% of the length of our network is driverless. Data analysis improves management and decision making. And yes, it's something new, but it's something that we need to do for new and old assets.
Can you please explain what means SAVANA to you and to TMB?
Well, SAVANA for me, the concept means achievement. That's the opposite that is happening with most of the data transformations projects. As you see in a very interesting Deloitte report, there is a lot of failures in transformation projects. But this is not surprising. This has been happening in the last 50 years in most of the transformations projects.
Okay. How did the journey start? How did you start the digitalization at TMB?
Well, let's move towards that. Yes, it's a long time ago. In 2006, we had frequent punctual failures in point machines. That was causing mass disturbance to the service, but these problems were not produced at the night inspection. And after, few days before, they were repeated. Well, which was our reaction? Was a traditional reaction, increasing preventive maintenance. But at the end, we didn't have positive result. Other more and more maintenance activity. This was really a pain. And it was a motivation to find a different solution. In fact, we know that we needed to record what was happening while was a failure. But there was not a product fitting to this need. And we did was building in together with the university and with the smart motors. The project developed the devices to catch the data and software, the necessary software to analyze them. And after using, we learned a lot of things that by defining first cause alarm or measured parameters, also we learn to do trend analysis of one or several combined parameters. Also, alarms based on patterns of previous failures. This was very interesting. Because it was like the seed to make automatic diagnostic reports. And at the end, here you can see something that was very interesting in the video to
What?
show. Oh, I come back. Yes, it's interesting because here we have the data on the left that you can watch in SAVANA when the train was passing over the point machine. Our technicians didn't believe that this was moving because if it moves, it could get to a fall. No? And we had to put a camera inside the point machine to check that what we was measuring was really true. No? Okay. After all this analysis, we had our prize because we improved the performance a lot. As you can see in graph 1, we double the reliability. In graph 2, you can see that we reduce drastically the metro stop time due to point machines failures. And in graph 3, you also can see the cost that was reducing by reducing the maintenance activity. And we monetize this available work time by internalizing other maintenance that was outsourced. And something that is very important, as you see in the 3 graph, these improvements last over the time.
Okay. So what happened after you had this first step into digitalization? What was the effect of these?
Well, then we move to track circuits. Why to track circuits? Because we have a lot of them, as you can see in the right, no? And also because the impact of the failures of the track circuits were also important. You can see on the table on the right that even the reliability of the track circuits is good because we have so many that they have impact. Also, you can see that we have a very different kind of track circuits and of a very different ages. And this means that we need something to monitor all kinds of track circuits. And also at the end, you see that it's a very hard work of maintenance track circuit because for every inspection, you need 3 people and you only can do 3 track circuit inspections for night. So the main motivation was to improve the service, but while we were reducing the service delays by failures of track circuits, but also reduce the maintenance activities was a motivation. Also, we learn new things, no? Because we have some kind of difficult breakdowns in track circuits to find the origin of the problem when there is a fault due to interference of a collateral track circuits. As you see on the graph 1, we have several track circuits in red. That means that there is failure, but we don't know which one is the one who had the real breakdown. No? In graph 2, we can see the recorded signals in SAVANA that allows to make accurate analysis of the thing that was happening while the failure. And what was difficult to solve it before? Because these failures are very short time failures, and you don't have time in the few seconds of the failure to take measurements of all the track circuits at the same time. This is a good example how new tools can improve your activity or your maintenance procedures.
Okay. Did you get any feedback inside TMB? Was it communicated in TMB departments?
Well, from the start, the users of the SAVANA, the monitoring system, was for engineers or signaling engineers that they are in the operations central control. And also, in the workshop, they were using it. But now we are ready to use it on site, as is where a new test instrument, because SAVANA is on the cloud, we have 4G in our network, and we can use a PDA for the technicians on site to make more efficient their preventive maintenance works.
Okay. What about others, like transport service? You are also responsible for this. Did this raise interest to take advantage of this new technology also here?
Yes, we made a jump with the system when we moved also to monitorize things on trains. No? And how do we start with digital train? Well, as it happened before, this is a pain. We had to face problems of high demand growth. You can see the photo. This was a rush hour. There's a lot of people on the platforms. And we knew that our trains have the data of pressure proportional to the load in the computer of the train. And also, rolling stock engineers knew about SAVANA from signal engineers. So we use this data of the trains of the pressure to monitor the occupancy of the trains along the line. So monitoring the occupancy of the trains along the line during the day, this information is very useful to adjust the offer plan to the evolution of the demand, and also help to define the investment plan for trains. I think this is a good example of how digitalization can improve decision making.
Sure. That's a really good example. But I guess there are more applications. What about rolling stock? Are there any requirements in this department?
Well, once we had the pressure available, well, the train has more than 10,000 variables, not just the pressure in their computer system. And we thought, why not to use them? And the answer is why and for what? No. Well, in fact, to try to do for the train and its equipment, the train has a lot of equipment inside, no, to do the same that we did for signal and assets, monitor the performance, monitor the alarms, monitor the events, no. Well, this is how we began to have all the data of the trains in a platform where we can use this as we need. For example, you can watch here the desktop mode. In fact, this is like a virtual image of the driver dashboard. No? it looks very nice, but it seems like a video game, no? And why? Why to do this? No. In fact, we began with an image of the dashboard. It was like an SCADA, no, with all the signals and the main controls, but not looking like the real dashboard. But after being using it for our operators in the control center, they noticed that to help or assist efficiently to the drivers when they have a problem, it was very useful to watch exactly what they're watching, no? Because in that case, they can say, well, look, pass at the third button on the left, on the left, for example, that is red, push it, and you will see how this message is in your computer. So this was just contrasted because a real necessity.
Whoa, another very interesting application. Did you continue from here further on? Or are there additional applications you are focusing on?
Well, we can turn our attention now to tracks, no? Like before, no? Because our team were talking before the developments that we were using. Track departments needed something to measure the width between rails in real conditions, especially in crosses. What does it mean in real conditions when a train is passing? Because if they detect movements of the distance when the train is passing, this can help to know the real condition of the cross and can allow the inspections to be programmed where are more needed. So a low-cost device with laser measurement has been developed and integrated to SAVANA. But this is also another example, completely different. No? This is a bridge condition monitoring. It sounds strange, but checking the structural state of bridge is not easy in Metro because often it's hidden by architectural elements, or it's not possible to carry out load tests that are required to have the condition of the bridge. And this was also a pain for infrastructure colleagues. But they knew that by means of frequency analysis of the vibration, when the train is crossing the bridge, the structural defects could be determined. So, well, then some sensors were installed in a bridge, and the software was developed at SAVANA, as we did before with other assets. And at the moment, we are watching the condition of the first bridge we monitorize, and in the next year it will be installed in other bridges. No? So this is like a needs solver. No? You have a need, and you know that you can apply some new technology to use it with all things that you already did before. No? This is another example. Let me go back to trains. Something very important is to have the wheels in good condition. This is important to prevent vibration that cause noise to the networks of the metro, and also damage to the rails. That if the damage happens in the rails will damage other wheels of the same train or of the trains. No, so it's quite important to have a good condition of wheels. This was an existing system of the 90s, and this system was not possible to monitor in every workshop of trains or the vibration department. So it was improved, integrating it into SAVANA. Also, looking for tracks and for vibration, we had a test measurement equipment installed in a train to monitor the condition of the trains, again, in real traffic conditions, because if not, this is done at night with a special night vehicle that it doesn't have the same load as a train, it doesn't have the same speed as a commercial train, So you have a good measurement with very precise instrument, but these are not the real condition. And what is more important, you don't have it every day. You only have from time to time when you do these measurements, no? So we had this equipment that we have available in one line, and we put this data to SAVANA, and now we can monitor the condition of the trunk in real traffic conditions and with constant information. I think this is another example of problem solving with integration, the things that you already have.
Wow, that's really a lot. So you're collecting there's a data from all your asset and you analyze it and display it. But I think there is something more. So how do you manage with external, with other data? There are ERP system. How did you do this?
Yes, let's turn our attention to the systems that we have that help us management. Like in every company, we have management tools. No? Well, what is important, SAVANA has been integrating to all of them. This makes the work easy. For example, we see a P, SAVANA report of condition. Okay, we have the condition of any asset, and we need to make a work order. This work order can be launched directly from SAVANA, attaching the condition report. Another example is SAVANA is calculating the quality parameter of the asset in order to allow real CDM. So from this data, SAVANA constructs a calendar and links with SAP to launch the orders when this must be done. And ECRP is doing all the work in the company to book the night schedule to do that, to assign all the work orders to the department who must done, and all this work that is also very important. Of course, we have also connections with corporative big data. This corporative big data cross-analyzes a lot of information of the company. No? At the moment, train occupancy is shared with SAVANA in order to cross-analysis with other information such as ticket validations or weather conditions. So this big analysis can be done in the existing tools of the company.
Wow, now I'm curious. How does SAVANA support your team? How do they support the inspector, the operator, and the maintenance team in the daily work? How is the communication going? Can you give an insight in this?
Yes, this is you can see this is an example of calendar generated by SAVANA based on the basket condition. And also other companies' rules has been introduced into SAVANA. For example, the staff available every day. We don't have the same people perhaps Monday that on Thursday, no? To do the work. No? So SAVANA know how many inspections can be do every night, and it takes in account to construct the calendar. No? Also, it's important to know the maximum time with revisions for safety reasons. It could happen that SAVANA watch that every asset is in a condition, and so they won't launch CVM inspections. But we have threshold or maximum time between inspections that is because safety conditions. So SAVANA also knows this information to take in account. No? Also, sometimes, for example, we organize different days of the week for have the night tracks work. Different days of the week, every department, so don't have interference between us. No, so SAVANA know that we work and in every line in the different days of the week. So it's able to generate a calendar that really fits to the needs of our maintenance team. Well, This is also an example of that, no? That as I have been talking that SAVANA is monitoring a lot of assets and different kind of assets, no, and continuously, no. But do we need to be continuously on the screen to check what is happening? The answer is not. It's not necessary to be permanently in the screen because SAVANA generates Alan reports. Alan reports that are a bit intelligent. They are not just alarm list. No, it's a report. We have the explanation of the causes of the possible diagnosis based on previous alarms that had the same I would say threshold condition, and that it was reported what the cause of the origin of the alarm. No? So also SAVANA gives the information of who is the probability of the diagnosis, who could be the causes, and also shows all the charts or signals or measurements in the moment of the alarm. So also, as you see on the right, this is like the tendency of the parameters that has been changed in the alarm in the last time. So the guy who is checking from time to time the alarms can decide if this report needs a work order to do some maintenance or not. If needed, also the work order can be automatic generated from SAVANA, trespassing all this information. So it helps the maintenance process a lot.
Okay, so I see you have a lot of effect for the internal processing, for the internal management of your team. But one can think about how can you use the data more? Can you use it, for instance, also for customer information? Is there an option? Did you think about this?
Yes, because digital train has the information of the occupancy of the trains and even the occupancy of this car of the train, and also can introduce other data of the train like the temperature. This information can be provided to the information system on platforms. No, this photo is a test that is doing this year is in 40 stations of the line 5, where there is information of the time of next train arriving, but also that what is new, that is showing the occupancy of every car. The intention of that at the beginning was to put that the customers could situate in the platform in the part of the platform where the next train has less occupancy, no? In order to be more comfortable and also good for the metro because it can help to have a quicker embarkment and disembarkment of the train, no? But now with Corona, this has been also a necessity because the social distancing must be kept, no? So this information is also preparing to be transferred to the TBV app in order to be shown in any station of the line, even the screens are not yet installed, no? Because it was just a test project in few stations. No? So at the moment, our team of internet app is working with the SAVANA information to transfer it to be available for all customers in any stations and even at home, and they can decide to delay their trip or to know exactly how is the occupancy of the trains in their journey.
Okay, yeah, that's really impressive, Ignasi. to summarize it, what once started with an innovation, with a pain point in a point machine, and a first step to do improvement, and a step into digitalization here. Over 10 years experience, it ended up in a complete platform which affected improvement of processes, improvement of communication in the whole organization of TMB. What is your conclusion? What are your lessons learned, or do you have some tips for the audience how to implement digitalization in their side if they are thinking about this today? Do you have some hints for us?
Well, it's not easy because there are a lot of things, but I try to summarize briefly what the things that we do or we can do with SAVANA. No? It's a summarize of the things that we've been talking. No? For example, for corrective maintenance, we can have quicker recovery of incidents. No? In fact, it's very important to have a fast diagnostic, no? Because this not only helps to the maintenance teams in order to know what can happen and have the repair parts prepare and go quicker to the solution. It also is also very important for the operation department because they can organize an alternative better service, and also very important to give good information to the passengers, no? Because you can know better which is the estimation of the repair time, and you can inform them. No? Also in corrective, we have detailed information for post-incident analysis. Always as we have an incident or a breakdown that have impact to the customers, we have a post-incident analysis, try to establish improvement actions. No? And if you have detailed information of the causes of the analysis, you can make two kinds of improvement. One that are just like improvement procedures, another that's even improvement the asset because you can improve the effective parts that have repetitive victims. No? And of course for preventive, no, because also we call predictive, no, we can avoid failures because we can have early detection of degradations and we can act before it happens. And also with preventive, adjusting the maintenance needs by means of CVM, as we talked before. And also we can do remote pre-inspections and post-inspection check-ins. We have a very short time at night to work, accessing the tunnel, just a little less than 4 hours. No? So it's important that our team that is going to work in an asset in the tunnel knows previously before going with the condition of the asset, and also after the inspection to check how is performing after they work. No? Also, of course, this increases reliability, gives more confidence to our maintenance teams, and they can contain costs because they can make less unnecessary preventive maintenance. No? And these are other things. No? For example, evaluate is something that you can seek in the beginning, no? Because you are thinking on the pain, no? But this is something that you get after you have been working with the system. No? You can evaluate the quality of assets. You can check if the specifications of the assets are accomplishing, no? Or you can compare different models of assets or different suppliers of assets, no? And you can know which asset is best for any different necessity, no? Or every use condition, no? So you can fit better use assets to the needs, no? Also, you can check or evaluate the efficiency of maintenance for internal maintenance because you can improve procedures. And also outsource maintenance because you have all the information failures, of the reliability and everything that is written in a contract, no? And you can do an efficient supervision. And so it's very important to improve knowledge of assets. If you know very well your assets, you can even expand their life. So this is about assets and maintenance, no, more or less, operation, but also is with the service, no. We watch that we can support the driver, assist the driver with the driving panel in the OCC. This also means quicker resolution of incidents. But also we have information like travel times and stop times at the stations that we can check in which stations we need these times to change to make more efficient trip journey in time. No, we also have the train occupancy. We also have, for example, the energy consumption in every point of the line by the trains and by the different service of the train, air conditioning, traction, everything. So we can even adjust these parameters if we see that there have an excess of consumption and even improve the energy saving. No? Also, other comfort parameters that they can be introduced as temperature and quality. We have been testing sensors who measure the quality of the air, the temperature, the noise in the trains that perhaps in the future will be installed in the trains. And at the end, we can also improve customer information. No? But this was like a tech, sorry. This was about the technical, no, more technical point of view. But we also have learned about data analysis and about management of needs. For example, we learned something very important. That pain could be a powerful motivator for innovation. So something that is a negative at the beginning, you can turn into positive in the long term, no? Short or medium term, even with SAVANA. Also, because we was talking at the beginning that the digitalization projects, most of them were failing, no? In my opinion, if we have a project with a clear intention to solve a problem, can success easily than perhaps a very generalistic digitalization plan without any list of problems to be solved very, very, very clear. No? Also, that it's very important to involve the team who is working who's doing the work that are related to the digitalization plan. No? For example, solutions that implemented as soon as possible to solve a problem, even if this solution is not perfect, easily success because they cover a need and probably success easily than elegant solutions that takes a lot of time and perhaps even costs much more than you can afford. No? But also, if the solution is not perfect at the beginning, this is not bad because making subsequent improvements with the suggestion of the users, this is very important. The users are a very key part of the system. Digitalization is nothing without people who is using it. Well, if they has been involved in the improvements, this makes easy the acceptance of the new tool. You can have a very powerful tool, but if nobody is using at all their capacity, you are not taking a lot of advantage of it. No? So these subsequent improvements can make that the digitalization project fit very well in your company culture. So it's important to detect what good is good enough to start with the solution and involve the users to put your culture of the company, the style of the thing are doing in the solution itself. No? This really, I think, that builds up the confidence on the project and also can lead to a transformation.
Okay, So I've just one question which came up to my mind immediately. Why at the end did you choose SAVANA? There are plenty of opportunities and different offers in the market. Why SAVANA? Why don't you take anything else? Can you give us maybe a short explanation for this?
Yes, well, yes. Well, in 2006, we didn't have any other solution, and SAVANA was growing with us because it was providing quick results. These quick results were for very different assets and needs. We we were using SAVANA, or we can use SAVANA for every different asset. This is a very important thing for a network, as you see, 100 years old, that we have a lot of kinds of different assets and different ages, and of course, we need to improve all of them because we are using all assets to provide the service. No? This ability to integrate other assets, that on the other hand, they still have years of life left. And also that is not breaking with our culture because this has been integration with our corporate tools, makes us to answer the question of why SAVANA. No? And of course, why not? Perhaps you were asking why not others, no?
Yeah.
As I told before, I think that in 2006, we didn't find others. I don't know if they existed, but I think we didn't find. No? And I want to know that now rival industry providers, they are also proposing their own platforms, but we already have one. No? But also, from what I know, these new platforms are only for the new assets. Sometimes I think this is like a hook to promote asset renewal. And of course, we can renew all of the assets of Metro, no? Because there are 1,000 of them, no? So I think this was our election to begin, but to continue expanding something that worked and gave us solution from the beginning.
Okay, I think we are done for now. Next step will now be that we have some time left for question and answer to Ignasi. Marta, can you take over and maybe you have already collected some questions from the chat? Maybe.
Sure. Sure. Thank you very much, Detmar. The interview was very interesting, and the audience have done many questions. So after we go for that, I want to remember that you can submit questions at any moment on the right side of your screen. Also, you have here at the left side the contact of Ignasi Oliver. So in case you want to get in touch with him. And on the right side, you have the link to ask for SAVANA's demo. And in case you want to contact also Smart Motors experts of SAVANA and ask for specific and technical questions. So the first question for Ignasi is someone is interested in asking for, has the technology and strategy maintainer to reduce the frequency or even the complete need for physical or visual inspection of certain assets that is typically required as part of preventive maintenance?
Yes, as we show in a slide, we improve the performance, like doubling reliability, and also this was the reducing the maintenance activity, the cost. This cost was reduced because we were distancing year after year the time between inspections. At the beginning in 2009, when the first SAVANA was in service, we had an average inspection of 14 every year per point machine, and now we are between 3 and 4. this was an important reduction of the frequency. No? Also, about complete reduction. No? A complete reduction, well, we have a limit that is in the maintenance plans, there are a lot of operations. Of course, there are some operations like taking measurement of points that are already measured by SAVANA, and these operations can be completely eliminated. You don't need to do that. But there are other operations that are for safety reasons, for mechanical parts, for different parts inspections of the point machine and other assets. No, so it's very important that you know for your maintenance plans which operation is done for what. No, all the operations that are done just by to have a good reliability, this can be eliminated if you want, no? If you are having a good measurement condition by SAVANA. But if there are some operations that are needed for safety, then first you have to question is really for safety or is just a tradition, because sometimes these maintenance plans are very old and they didn't have a really good analysis of hazards, no? But even once you are sure that it's for safe, then I recommend to, of course, to maintain these safety inspections. But what you can do is completely change your maintenance plans and make a very short inspection only for this operation. You don't need to do for all the number of operations that you are doing now.
Thank you very much, Ignasi. Hope your question has been answered. And we have someone especially interested in the maintenance of the automatic metro fleet that you have in Barcelona, line 9 and line 10. He asked about what was necessary to make a good maintenance possible without drivers who can report failures of, and what kind of sensor in the vehicles and trucks are necessary.
Well, line 9 and 10, there were automatic lines that were constructed from the beginning, and the conception of the line was automatic, no? So they had, even they were using trains of the same technologies of other lines, they had some things when they were opened, like in 2009, with the first line in operation, automatic line. And they have, for example, video board from the OCC, interforce a public address directly to the OCC, and also on SCADA. This SCADA was reproducing the failures that usually were reproduced before by the driver. Now this information is also in the conventional trains and also in SAVANA, but in 2009, it was only in the SCADA of trains, no? And well, it was some sensors specifically for a automatic line. This was something, sensors was, of course, the communication with platform doors, between the train and platform doors, needed to synchronize the open and closing of doors, and also a sensor for for detection of derailment. But there was not other specific sensors in these lines than others.
Perfect. Thank you, Ignasi. We have the third question from Batsan, and he's asking about how do you combine preventive maintenance tasks with the corrective maintenance tasks generated by SAVANA?
Okay, we have the preventive maintenance tasks are launched by the preventive plan that used to be before by a calendar, and now instead of calendar, we are ready to construct it with the CBM from SAVANA. We have defined some quality parameters for every different asset, and checking SAVANA the tendency of these parameters. When they are degrading these quality parameters, they launch like the preventive work order. And the corrective, we have an intermediate concept between preventive and corrective, that is predictive. For us, corrective is not a corrective if there is not a real breakdown. This means if the operation don't notice about the failure, is not still corrective. But predictive, of course, is like corrective because you have to do a quickly action before a failure happens. No, so all OCC engineers that are working with SAVANA, when they have a predictive report from SAVANA, they check if it's necessary to make some action immediately, for example, or just on the night. You can wait to the night, or to program in the next days. No, so this is the way how we combine three concepts: preventive, predictive, and corrective. That for us, corrective is when it's something affecting to the user.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ignasi. For now, we are done with the questions. We will answer the ones missing via email. And so the webinar is finished. Thank you very much, Detmar and Ignasi. Thank you all the audience. Video now that sums up all SAVANA's details, and hope you enjoy it. Do not hesitate to ask for SAVANA's demo and for more specific topics you want to discuss. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much as well from my side. Thank you, Ignasi, for the insights. Thank you, Marta, for the perfect organization of this webinar. And of course, to all the audience, thank you for your time and for your curiosity. So we are looking forward to have such seminar again. Let's know your feedback if you want, and see you next time.
Enjoy the video.
Today, choosing a good tool to monitor and digitalize is essential to guarantee the best results in terms of efficiency, availability, and remote management. This is the right time to discover SAVANA, the Railway Digitalization platform, which integrates all the knowledge collected from the areas, from infrastructure through signalling to rolling stock, to show how SAVANA is empowering them. This tool makes the organisation more efficient, collaborative, and changes the culture into a new mindset where data is at the core. Once upon a time, TMB had a big concern. Conventional maintenance plans set by the suppliers were not achievable. Corrective measures consumed too many resources and they could not identify the cause of a breakdown. Due to this lack of knowledge and the inability to replicate, they had to perform corrective tasks more than once. So they decided to monitor their assets and embrace the change to condition-based maintenance. That is when anticipating the unexpected becomes real. After years of SAVANA's development, the results were surprising. The number of revisions got drastically reduced. The impact on the signalling budget was a 37% reduction. Once experiencing the impact of the tool, TMB started monitoring other assets as track circuits. TMB realised that not only the prediction of breakdowns and self-diagnosis was possible, but also SAVANA could automate processes and improve productivity. Soon, other departments asked to integrate more assets and other data sources to take advantage of the potential of SAVANA's graphical interface, adaptability, usability, and interaction with other information systems, tracks, energy, rolling stock, and even occupational risk prevention. TMB can automatically manage maintenance through condition-based maintenance. SAVANA generates work orders based on the data obtained and thus manages to maximise the impact of maintenance on the availability of the infrastructure with appropriately occupied resources. Through train monitoring data, such as mileage and the frequency of use of train subsystems, SAVANA knows the maintenance cycles and predicts the right movement for carrying out an intervention. Flexible and dynamic maintenance schedules are created to suit the needs for available assets and resources. SAVANA leaves no stone unturned. All the assets on the network can be monitored and integrated in the web-based platform. The information comes either from smart motors devices, third parties' equipment, or existing communications. Operation also takes benefits from SAVANA. Applications such as real-time viewing of the driver's desktop. It offers the possibility of remotely connecting and eases the control center to help the driver during an eventuality or breakdown. Also, it streamlines operations contact with the maintenance department, so to be able to fix a breakdown as soon as possible. SAVANA encourages workers to become together for one purpose, even being home-based. Everyone benefits when a collaborative environment is created. However, not only the insiders of the organisation are getting benefit of SAVANA, but also the users of the transport enjoy a better customer experience and improve their comfort. Passengers receive relevant data through information screens and mobile phone applications. SAVANA has become the heart of the TMB public transport due to the high impact in procedures and workflows of the organisation. Digitalisation is not just an isolated project. It is a complete transformation that needs a cultural change within the company. Past and present digitalisation projects are integrated within SAVANA. Following a common strategy allows to increase availability, reduce downtime, and give the competitive advantage to lead the challenges and face what is about to come. Consolidating small projects within SAVANA opens an extended universe of opportunities. Having all the same information on the same platform, under the same criteria, will almost certainly allow the organisation to be more efficient. At last, but not least, SAVANA is a huge environment that keeps updating solutions and improving thanks to all the needs and initiatives of the worldwide users, offering high performance at a low investment. Still looking for a digitalisation partner? Wake up your digital strategy and keep it simple. Let SAVANA ease your daily challenges.